and welcome to It's Not Them, It's You. Refusing emotional baggage claim. And thank you so much for being here with me tonight. I'm so excited. Well, it's just this afternoon, and it happens to be the most hot afternoon in Coquitlam, where I live. Is a suburb of Vancouver, British Columbia, and we're up to like 32 or 32 degrees. So I actually have my feet sitting on a cooler. So my husband or my partner Tom might be in to change my foot thing right away, I hope. And so glad that you're here with us tonight. Just looking forward to getting going with you. And so for those of you who need the Cole's Notes version of how long we're going to be, I would super love that, to give that to you. So just one sec. I'm just going to make sure that we're live here. So if you can see me, I want you to let me know. Cool. Awesome. So I see you. And I'm so excited to be here. So we're going to be running about 90 minutes, and we're going to talk about what it's like to live your life without judgment, and also to be able to like dump that emotional baggage off at the curb. And so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jennifer Windsor. I'm an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, and I've been doing that. My first entree to Access Consciousness was in 2010. I was listening on an internet radio show I think called like Manifest Everything Now, or Live Your Greatest Life Now, or something like that. And something caught my attention. And so I listened to an Access Consciousness Facilitator. And what she said was so compelling that I was like, wow, I really need to know more about this. And so one of the things that she suggested was to have your bars run. And so I went and did that. And so if you don't know what that is, it's an energetic alignment where somebody just gently touches points on your head. And so the points on your head are related to all sorts of things that you could be holding on to, our thoughts and feelings and emotions, and the things that we think that we can do and the things that we think that we can do are all like traffic in our neurons. And so we build up electromagnetic energy in our brain. And so when you're feeling sort of foggy or congested, you are. And you might need to get your bars run. And so that was the very first thing that I did with Access Consciousness, was get my bars run. And I'm the type of person that I absolutely need to know everything from the inside out. And so I was like, wow, what is this thing? I feel really good. I'm sleeping better. I'm thinking better. And like some really magical things are happening in my life. And I'm pretty sure it's happening from the bars. And so I went and learned how to do the bars and became a bars practitioner. And then I'm a natural born teacher. I absolutely love working with people. And so my biggest thrill is to get to teach. And so I thought, okay, well, cool. I'm going to go ahead and learn about this from the inside out. And so I, again, went and learned how to become a bars facilitator. And then I was so excited about the stuff that I was finding out about Access Consciousness and the teaching that I was getting from them, that eventually I had taken enough courses with Access Consciousness that I could become a facilitator. And so I could be presenting to people like you some of the tools of Access Consciousness. And prior to that, I was actually like a crazy busy commercial and residential real estate, not a realtor, a manager. And so looking after buildings for people. And I wasn't super happy with that. I made quite a bit of money, but I had a lot of stress doing that. And it wasn't my true love. My true love was actually working with people who were interested in a transformation in their lives. And so I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to be presenting that information to you. And so I have a little video that I'd love to share with you. Just one moment. All right, so we're back in. So that's a little bit about me. What the video does show is how much I absolutely love working with people. And, you know, just the absolute amazingness about working with people. What the video doesn't show is that I'm trained and facilitated and ran meetings on an international basis and on a local basis for the various firms that I've worked for. So I do have a whole lot of experience working with people. A lot of the people that I worked with were of international descent, and so English wasn't necessarily their first language. And so what I did get good at was explaining things in a whole bunch of different ways. And so I use that in my Access Consciousness business. And so if you have a question to ask, I would love to hear it. And if you're afraid that I'm not going to be able to understand what it is that you're wanting to get some information on, you're hoping to get some facilitation on, then please just ask the question. I should be able to figure it out from what it is that you're asking. So let's proceed. I've got a few questions that have been sent in to me via email. I do have a few things that I'd love to go through with you. And so just moving along, I've got a few notes. All right. So what's my soulmate story? And so why is it that it's super important to me that people get to meet their soulmate? When I got together with my ex-husband, the father of my children, we were like madly in love. He was, you know, by all intents and purposes, my absolute soulmate. I absolutely adored him, and he absolutely adored me. And so what we had was a wonderful soulmate relationship. And sometimes what happens with relationships is, you know, the people tend to grow apart. And that doesn't necessarily mean that a soulmate relationship is going to be the relationship that you have for the rest of your life. And so I would love for you to know that, okay, cool, I had a soulmate relationship with that person, and it lasted for 6 months, it lasted for 6 years, it lasted for 16 years. And, you know, for some reason, we're not together anymore. And, you know, that doesn't necessarily have to be part of your emotional baggage. And so when my partner and I had kids, my husband and I had kids, you know, we ended up not being the same kind of people. He wanted to continue, you know, doing what we did when we were single people, and we actually had kids together, and so we couldn't do that anymore. And so if that's bringing up something for you that you feel bad that you're no longer with the soulmate partner and you want to make yourself wrong about it, I would love for you to destroy and uncreate that. And so that's one of the tools of Access Consciousness, is we invite you to destroy and uncreate the feeling that's inside you that's causing you to feel bad about yourself. And so actually, you can destroy and uncreate things that are causing you, you know, something that you have attachment to. So we might actually get onto that. So it isn't necessarily a thing that's bad that you would like to destroy and uncreate. Sometimes it's the things that you are like, I kind of don't want to destroy and uncreate that, Jennifer. I really enjoy that. I may not be getting the results that I'm looking for, but I actually enjoy it. And so we might get onto something like that. It sort of feels like it. And, you know, my journey, after I left my ex-husband, I was alone for 7 years. And, you know, I dated during that time, but I really didn't meet anybody who, you know, I would say, okay, cool, I want to have a soulmate relationship with this person. You know, I met some people who were contenders. You know, I met some people who are, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you meet people and you don't necessarily have the ability to go to the next level with them. And so in order to go to the next level with somebody, you have to have, you know, sort of mental and emotional compatibility with them. Your heart needs to work the same way, and then you also need to have a sexual compatibility with them. And so if you have all of those three things, those are the elements of a soulmate relationship, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be together for the rest of your life. So everywhere you've made a definition that a soulmate is that there's only one of them, can we destroy and uncreate that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And everywhere we think that that our soulmate is somebody that we have to be with day in and day out for the rest of our lives, can we just destroy and uncreate that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so if you've never heard those crazy words, good and bad, pot and pock, that's the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. And so if you're one of those kind of people like me who absolutely loves knowledge, after this webinar, if you could go to theclearingstatement.com, there's a video there that talks about the clearing statement and why it works. And so I invite you to just experience the clearing statement and experience what happens inside your body when I'm using the clearing statement while I'm doing the clearings and the presenting tonight. I call it the cosmic eraser. It allows you to go back to a different you that doesn't have that energetic attachment to what's going on. And so let me just check my notes here. So I talked about being together with my husband. We were together for 8 years, and then I was alone for 7 years. And so a lot of me made myself wrong for being alone. You know, I mean, I would have friends who are like, oh, you're such a nice girl. You're an attractive being. You know, I really enjoy you. So why the heck are you alone? And so I wanted to make myself wrong about that, that I was, yeah, that I was alone. So everywhere you're wanting to make yourself wrong for being alone, and everywhere your friends are reinforcing that wrongness, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all that? Good. Times a godzillion, and a godzillion is a number that only God knows. So it's bigger than infinity. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so I got some questions before there was a poll that was attached to the webinar, and some people actually answered the poll for me, which was so wonderful. And so I know the direction of tonight. Access Consciousness classes are quite magical. If you are attending on the replay, you're going to find that a lot of the questions that you thought that you wanted to have answered during this webinar, somebody has emailed into me, or they're popping into my brain as we speak. So anything that doesn't allow you to experience the magic of Access Consciousness during this webinar, can you please destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And anything that doesn't allow you to laugh at what I say and laugh at what you say, can we just destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so this baggage, this emotional baggage that we're carrying with us, it's pretty kind of normal. Like everybody's like, oh, you know, how are you doing? And they expect you to say, oh, I'm doing crappy. Here's all the reasons why I'm doing crappy. And then they're like, oh, cool, now it's my turn to complain about my life. And then you'll get your turn to complain about your life. And so if you're hoping to step into a life where, you know, people don't take turns complaining about how crappy their life is, and, you know, there's an energetic of, you know, what did you create today? Oh, I created this. And oh, what did you create today? I created that. Can we just step into the magic of that? And so anything and everything that doesn't allow us to absolutely step into the magic of creation, and also the magic of what you're absolutely capable of, can we now destroy and uncreate that? Yeah, right? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Oh, cool. Yeah, I do have a cool question here, and I was going to bring this up. And so one of my clients that I've been working with had an amazing thing happen to them, and apparently it's all over the media, where people who are having relationships are just refusing to have anything more with one another. So it's like you like leave the house and then you never come back. And, you know, I mean, these are Hollywood people. So they've got like apartments in Paris and they've got houses in LA and they've got, you know, flats in New York. And so they could just leave and never be heard from again. And so this actually happens to real people. And so this phenomenon is called being ghosted. And so basically it's like, you know, get out of my life. I can't see you. I can't talk to you. And so what is that? And so I would recommend you have a look at that for yourself. I see Reb is asking about it. I would recommend she has a look at that for herself, and also have a look at, like, what does this mean? Does it mean that there's something wrong with me? And so truth, does that make you feel heavy? Or does that make you feel light to ask, is there something wrong with me? And, you know, if it makes you feel heavy, then it's a lie. And so this is a tool of Access Consciousness. Everything that makes you feel heavy is a lie. And everything that makes you feel light, like laughing, I'll have an example for you, is the truth. And so just for example, if somebody said to me, oh, Jennifer, you're so untidy, you're a little slob, you're a little pig pen. Like, I hate housework. I really don't like it. I'm fairly good at it. And, but I've done more than enough of it. And so it doesn't bring me pleasure to do housework. And so if somebody says to me, oh my God, Jennifer, you're such a slob, it makes me laugh, right? Because I know I'm a slob. I don't like cleaning my house, but I do like to have a tidy house. And so it doesn't hurt my feelings if somebody calls me a slob. Now, if somebody said to me, you know, Jennifer, you're cheap, or you're not generous, or you're a miser, or you're a Scrooge, well, I would feel sick. I would be like, oh my God, what is it that's causing this person to make me, or to tell me that I'm a slob, or not a slob, I'm totally a slob, but a Scrooge. And so anything that's making you feel heavy is obviously a lie. And so I would invite you to have a look at that. And so if being ghosted causes you to feel heavy and ugly and sick, then I would invite you to say, okay, well, what's so important about this? What do I need to know about this? And what have I made so vital about this? And so if we can step into the awareness of what you've made so vital about it. So let's just ease into that. And so what have you made so vital about this person going MIA? And so everything that's bringing up for you, can we just destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so also, what have you made so vital about the mystery of the missing boyfriend? So I'm just going to assume that's a boyfriend. Oh, there's Tom in the background. Tom, I'm having a webinar.
Out of here. Out of here. Cody, come on.
Take the dog out. Oh my God. See, Tom's not missing. He's absolutely here. Oh my God, he's so cute. Anyways, so let's go back to that. So what have you made so vital about the mystery, like your Nancy Drew, right? So what have you made so vital about the mystery of the missing boyfriend? And so everything that brings up and everything that lets down, let's just destroy and uncreate it. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so everywhere you've allowed yourself to be caught up in the mystery of the missing boyfriend and made that mean something about you and made that mean something about them, can we just destroy and uncreate all that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so let me tap into that a little deeper. Because truth, there's nothing that we haven't been or done in any lifetime. So in this lifetime, in a previous lifetime, in any concurrent lifetimes, in any alternate universes. I know I'm going right off the grid here, but it's very important to understand that if something's bothering you about something, it means that you've participated in it in some other concurrent lifetime. So what I would recommend to you is you can say to yourself, anywhere I've been that, or done that, or participated in that, anywhere I've been victimized by that, anywhere I've felt victimized by that, or anywhere I've witnessed victimization, you know, by this ghosting phenomenon or the mystery of the missing boyfriend, can we do, I now destroy and uncreate it. So you would say, I now destroy and uncreate it. And I'm going to ask you, will you now destroy and uncreate it? And I'm going to assume you say yes. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and puck, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so, yeah, I don't see, let's just pop back on here. So one of the other things that I would love to talk about is, that we ended up talking about on our call this morning, for those of you who are planning on joining us for conscious coupling, and you're waiting for this webinar to be presented so that you can make up your mind about conscious coupling. One of the concepts that we did talk about in the class this morning, of which you're going to get a recording if you join out for conscious coupling, was people had a point of view that they needed to do something in order to be ready to meet a soulmate partner. And so, you know, they needed to do something physically, like they needed to lose weight, or, you know, get in shape, or, you know, clean up their house, or move, or, you know, something like that. There needed to be something about their physical space that they needed to change. And then another thing that they thought that they needed to do was, you know, like be younger, or be more attractive, or just like that physicality aspect of things. Like if I was more vibrant, if I liked to go out more, if I wanted to stay in more, I would be able to attract a soulmate relationship. And so also, you know, on a spiritual level, they're like, oh, I'm carrying around all this baggage. If I didn't have this baggage, then I would be able to attract a soulmate relationship. So everything that's bringing up for you guys, everything that's letting down for you guys, can we just destroy and uncreate it? And so good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. Because if you're ready to attract a soulmate relationship, it's basically like a television channel. And so like your channel 12. So you're going to continue to be channel 12. You look exactly like you. You smell exactly like you. You act exactly like you. And so if you're willing to do that, then great. But if you think that you have to be a channel 8 in order to be able to, you know, attract a soulmate relationship, then those people who are like teaching courses like, you know, become a Matahari, you know, become the secret agent of seduction or something like that. Well, fine. Obviously, you can learn something from that. But my concern for you is that you may not be able to attract a long-lasting soulmate relationship with somebody because you're actually showing up at a different resonance than you would normally broadcast at. So, like, you're popping up and down. So you're like, oh, today I'm a channel 8. I guess I better put on my 4-inch heels and my push-up bra and, you know, go get my blowout. And then on the weekends, you know, when you're with your family, you're a channel 12. So you put your hair up in a ponytail and, you know, you put on your Lululemons and, you know, you go for a big long run and you don't bother with makeup and, you know, you're playing with your kids or you're playing with your dog. And so you're just living your normal channel 12 experience. And so if I was tuning into you and I was thinking, wow, I really want to have a relationship with that person, but I kind of don't get it. Like, is she a channel 12 or a channel 8? Well, what my recommendation is to you is that really if you are authentically a channel 12, you know, it's fine to tune into channel 8 now and again, you know, if you're getting some sort of energetic hit from that, you know, I'm not in judgment of that. What my concern for you is that you go ahead and broadcast on the channel for you that's authentic to you. And so anywhere and everywhere you've tuned into some sort of guru who's telling you that the only way for you to get men is to be something other than what you really truly are, can we just destroy and uncreate it, please? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. So let me just check here and see if we have any questions. Okay. And so I had another question from the polls about attracting controlling partners, and there was like probably 3 different people who filled out the polls where they had attracted partners that were controlling. And so if that's true for you, that you've attracted a partner that's controlling, or you're concerned about attracting a partner that's controlling because you like to just do your regular thing and you don't necessarily want to have somebody wanting to, I guess, manipulate your time and manipulate your physicality and tell you where to go, tell you what to wear, that kind of thing. It doesn't sound attractive to me. So anything and everything that's causing you to feel afraid of attracting a controlling partner, can we now just destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And truth, when we're afraid of something, when we're resisting something, what shows up? Right? More of what we're resisting. And so what I would invite you to do instead is have a look at the things that you absolutely love in a relationship. And then above and beyond that, have a look at the things that you absolutely love to do. And so one of the things that showed up was one of the clients that I'm working with here in Vancouver had an idea that she really loved to do a lot of things that were feminine. And so that said, if you have an idea about doing things that are feminine all the time, and you want to call it feminine, and then you think, okay, well, I can only do that with my girlfriends. Well, then what happens is, because you're resisting that aspect of things, that you couldn't possibly do something quote unquote feminine with your soulmate partner, especially if your soulmate partner is a guy. There's all sorts of relationships out there, and I love to facilitate people in same-sex relationships just as much as I love to facilitate heterosexual partners. And so, just for example, myself, I had an interesting point of view, and that's one of the Access Consciousness tools as well, is any point of view that you have is an interesting point of view, and it might not necessarily be your point of view. It might be just a little point of view that you're picking up on the Wi-Fi, on the psychic connection. And so one of the things that I noticed was that I had that point of view. So interesting point of view that I have that point of view is another tool. And so I didn't make that significant, but back in the day when Tom and I were getting together, I had an idea that I would love to go to the theater. And so that was one of my fantasy items that I put on my list of things that I love to do, that I hope to do with a partner. And it was one of the ones where I kind of thought, oh yeah, good luck, Jennifer. You're not necessarily going to get somebody who wants to go to the theater with you unless it's your girlfriend or maybe your gay BFF. And as it turns out, Tom loves to go to the theater. It's one of the things that he super loves. And he had season tickets to the theater that he had kept before we were even together. And so that was one thing that he loved to do. And so, he was inviting people out to come to the theater with him. And that was, so that was just his thing. And so another one of the things that I had put on my fantasy list of things that I would love to do with a partner that I absolutely love to do by myself was going ballroom dancing. And I had taken Argentine tango lessons and then also introductory ballroom dancing lessons by myself. And so it was part of that aspect of things that I was willing to honor myself. And do anyway. So that's one of the tools, this, refusing emotional baggage claim, is pushing yourself up to the resonance of receiving. And the first person that you need to learn to receive from, or I would recommend that you learn to receive from, is you. And so being able to take yourself out on a date, take yourself out to do things that you absolutely love to do without necessarily waiting for a partner. And one of the clients that I was working with was a young lady, actually, and she was living abroad, and she was saying, well, I'm not feeling great, and I'm not 100% sure why. And I said to her, okay, well, when I tap into you, what I see is like sushi and dancing. And so I'm not quite sure what that means, but, does that mean anything to you? And she said, oh my God, I've been dying for sashimi, and I've been dying to actually just go dancing, because she's a professional dancer. So she's doing the choreography style dancing and not just shaking her bonbon. And so she was waiting for a man friend to take her out for sashimi. And so once we cleared, any idea that she had that she needed to wait for somebody to take her dancing, or wait for somebody to take her to go for sashimi, then she was able to just go ahead and proceed. And her body really, really enjoyed that aspect of things. And so on our next call, what we did was, she was like, oh my God, Jennifer, thank you so much. That was really cool. And so, as you can see, sometimes I get pictures for people, and it's never really like, I'm not like, oh my God, I know exactly what it is that, the advice that I'm going to give you. I just tell you, okay, cool, this is what I saw, and then you make the interpretation. So that's pretty cool. Let me see what else I've got here. Well, I've just got a bunch of awful people that you guys have been having relationships with. And, trust me, I've been there. My relationship with my ex-husband was not cool. He was emotionally abusive. He was financially abusive. He wasn't physically abusive, but he was verbally abusive. And actually, I'm one of those kind of people that, when I hear a loud noise, I jump. So I'm obviously very auditory. And so for someone to hit me might not have been as abusive to me than having somebody be verbally and emotionally abusive to me. And so everywhere that you're attracting people who are not giving you the type of experience in this lifetime that you deserve, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And everywhere you're unwilling to step into your own knowingness about that, because truth, you absolutely do know whether or not that person is going to be abusive to you. And so if you've made some sort of contract where you keep going back to these abusive relationships, through all sorts of time and dimensions, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so Access Consciousness teaches us to ask questions that bring about an awareness that we can choose. So just for example, had I gone back and said, okay, truth, is this person a contribution to me? I would have got sort of a yes and a no, because he was actually a contribution to me in quite a few ways, but he wasn't a contribution to me in the long term. And so if I had asked, okay, what will my life be like in 5 years if I continue to have a relationship with this person? I would have got a, well, yeah, cool. You're going to get to go places. You're going to learn a bunch of new things. He's going to open up some areas of your life that you had never thought about experiencing. And so that was cool for me. But if I had checked in again and had asked, what will my life be like in 10 years? Well, I would have got a big wall. It would have been very obvious that this relationship was going to be good for me for 5 years and not good for me for 10 years. And I could have actually asked, body, what would it be like to have children with this person? and I would have gotten an awareness at that time. So anywhere you're unwilling to ask questions to bring about an awareness about what your life will be like with this person, or what your life won't be like with this person, you know, any soulmate connection that you're thinking of making, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, online, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so I see Reva's got a question. How about losing any ability to be affected by betrayal and abandonment? Okay, so truth. If you know somebody is going to betray you or abandon you, would you do it? And so I'm imagining you're going to say no. So anything that doesn't allow you to choose for you, let's just destroy and uncreate that. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And anywhere, past, present, and future, you've made an oath or a vow to this person to come back in this lifetime and recreate situations that occurred in previous lifetimes. Would you be willing to destroy and uncreate that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so, let me just tap in for a second. Losing any ability to be affected by betrayal and abandonment. So I'm wondering if that means that you kind of don't give a shit. It's actually not a bad idea to not give a shit. So anything and everything that doesn't allow you to choose for you and not give a shit about what anybody else has for you, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so not giving a shit doesn't necessarily mean that you're evil, or that you're selfish, or that you're manipulative. It just means that you don't have any judgments in place about that. And how cool would that be? Because we were talking about this on the call this morning as well. We're raised to serve. The vast majority of us are raised to serve other people. And so we have a look at what their needs are first, and we have a look at what they like to do first, and we choose accordingly. So everything that's bringing up for people, can we just destroy and uncreate that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And everywhere, past, present, and future, you've been a designer servant. For some master or mistress somewhere, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate that and just live your life authentically? Cool. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. So I've got a question here from Kiara. Does every unhelpful belief we have ever had really need to be cleared individually? Isn't there a broader statement? Well, it depends. Probably, yeah, we can come up with a blanket statement. However, the cognitive mind is so sharp. So if you come up with a like this blanket statement, like, everywhere I was screwed over in a relationship and that stuck me, I now just destroy and uncreate it. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. Well, I can just imagine the cognitive mind coming around, because I actually know Kiara and I know exactly what kind of cognitive mind she has, so she's not pulling one over on me. She's going to pull something out of there that's like, oh, well, that couldn't have been, destroyed and uncreated. The sessions are the way they are because somebody will ask a question, and the question is the material that I use to facilitate. And so, the calls are as such that, people can come and ask basically any question about what's going on for them in their life in regards to, with the subtext of, conscious coupling. But also you can say, okay, well, cool, I don't seem to have as much money, or different things like that that don't necessarily have anything to do with relationships, but then you go around and you find out, oh my God, it really does have to do with relationships. So my answer to you, I've seen Brad. That's so fun. But anyway, yes, come up with a giant blanket statement. Like anywhere anybody screwed me over, I just destroy and uncreate all those feelings. Anything that made me feel crappy, anything that made me feel abused, anything that made me feel stressed out, anywhere anybody made me feel less than the magnificent being I already am, can I just destroy and uncreate that? Or I now destroy and uncreate it. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and puck, all 9 boys, shorts, and beyonds. So yeah, the answer is yes, and the answer is no. So you have to check and see, does it make you feel light and fun to have a big blanket statement, or does it make you feel like you're going to come up with something else to reroute the blanket statement? And for you, the answer would be, I think you're going to come up with something else. Because you're a pretty smart cookie. So everything that brings up, everywhere you're a smart cookie, and you'll come up with something else to keep things fresh. Can we just destroy and uncreate that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pot, all 9 boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so we've got Rebecca here. What if someone was so mad at another person for their behavior that they cursed them many times over, and that they are stuck on sending negative thoughts? Very cool. And so, which makes me think of like witches around a cauldron. So how many lifetimes have we been witches around a cauldron? And we thought negative thoughts and turned them into curses, and we sent them throughout the ages. And now we're afraid that there's a boomerang on a curse that's coming back and causing negative thoughts into our reality. And so everything that's bringing up, ooh, I can feel that in my throat. So everywhere I've cursed people, everywhere you've cursed people, and we're worried about the boomerang effect of a curse, can we just revoke, recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all curses that we've either, I want to say granted, all curses that we've granted, all curses that we've received, all curses that we've presented, and all curses that I'm getting a book called Curses that we've actually written down. And everything that brings up, everywhere you want to cough or something, like I'm getting my throat, and very clairsentient if you haven't figured that one out. So yeah, so everything that brings up or lets down for you, can we now just destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pot, all 9 boys, shorts, and beyonds. And because I'm the facilitator, I'm just going to clear myself. So anytime I've ever cursed somebody, every time I've ever received a curse, every time I've ever granted a curse or written it down, can I now just destroy and uncreate it? Yes. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pot, all 9 boys, shorts, and beyonds. So another one that I have here that that people wanted to talk about were when they were lied to. And so that really hurts people. They don't want to be lied to. And it's not a kindness to have someone lie to you. But truth, as an infinite being, you can be, know, perceive, and receive everything. And so the likelihood of you being lied to and you not knowing it is pretty slim. And so you can say to yourself, truth, am I being lied to? And your body's going to say, yes. And then you can say, okay, well, what can I do with that? And so you'll get an awareness. And so the awareness is, okay, well, whatever your awareness is. And can I change it? Is the next question that you need to ask yourself, or I would recommend that you ask yourself. And so if you're dealing with somebody who's a pathological liar, then the likelihood of you being able to change it is slim to nil, correct? And, but if it was something like, okay, your children lying to you, or, you know, your girlfriend telling you that your butt looks nice in those pants when you know perfectly well it doesn't, and you're only asking her to see whether or not she's a liar. So anywhere there's some sort of funness happening there with lies and being enjoyed being lied to somehow, any drama or trauma that's causing liars to show up into your life, any mystery that needs to be solved, anywhere you're embroiled, anywhere you're sort of the Nancy Drew of mystery of people lying to you, can we now just destroy and uncreate that? Yeah. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so as an infinite being, you can say to yourself, okay, am I being lied to? And then you have the choice of what you do with that. And another one of the courses that I took that I totally recommend with Access Consciousness is something called Deal and Deliver. And I'll post the link on my It's Not Them, It's You page. And what it does is it teaches you how to ask for what you want in a relationship. And also it teaches you how to get what you want from other people, and also find out what they want and what they're asking you to deliver. And so part of the things that are really screwing us up in this lifetime that I'll be covering in my Conscious Coupling course is how to actually communicate with people. And so that's why there's 5 months of this course, because I want you guys to go out and actually feel what it's like to use these tools in the real world. And part of that is making contracts with people. And even if it's just to go out on a coffee date, even if it's, you know, out on a dinner date, away for the weekend, all the way up to, oh my goodness, we're going to move in together. Do we need a cohabitation agreement? Or, oh my goodness, somebody's asking me to marry them. You know, how does that work for me? And also to be able to have the language about how to make sure that what you're contracting, you know, I know it sounds like business language, but when we're working with people, we have to make sure that our needs are met, because we're the only people who are able to make sure that our needs are met. And so if we don't take care of ourselves, who's going to? Right? And so everything that's bringing up for people, can we just destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And everywhere we've been taught, or we believed, or we bought the myth that if somebody really loved you, they'd take care of you first, this sort of women and children first phenomenon that we're passing along to people that we barely know, but we want them to take care of us first, and we're unwilling to take care of ourselves first, right? So everything that brings up for people, everything that lets down, everywhere you've been unable or unwilling to make sure that your needs are met first, you know, because of course, when you love somebody, you're willing to do a lot for them. But what I see out there, and what I see out there is so many people that are making choices based on what that other person needs. You know, I have an amazing friend who spent almost $100,000 of her own money taking care of a partner. And in the end of it, after she spent $100,000 of her own money, he left. He left her on Christmas Day. And so anything and everything that doesn't allow you to take care of you first, to know what your needs are, to be able to express your needs to other people in a way that they can receive them. Even if you don't know what that is right now, I would encourage you, anything and everything that doesn't allow that to happen for you to choose for you, can we now just destroy and uncreate that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And everywhere you've been stuck in the past, everywhere you've been injured in the past, and you're allowing that to move forward into the future, I get a picture of like a mutual fund, right? So the prospectus for a mutual fund says, oh, well, over the last 5 years, this mutual fund's done, you know, X%. And, you know, it's been a good buy for people. People have made money. And so, you know, everywhere you're trying to make an investment in somebody based on their past performance, and everywhere, you know, that stuck you in the past, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so what about me? You know, just for example, say, oh gosh, you know, it wasn't too terribly long ago that I was stressed out. I was like bitchy. You know, I was absolutely no fun. And so people who wanted to spend time with me, they had to wait for, like half an hour for me to like calm down from traffic if I wanted to go over to visit them. They, practically stand on the doorstep and, have a glass of wine in their hands and say, okay, there, Spaz. And, these days I'm just not that person. I do get riled up a bit, but my idea of getting riled up today versus my idea of getting riled up, even 5 years ago is just unbelievably different. And so everywhere you're judging yourself on past performance, everywhere you've not been authentically you in a relationship, everywhere you've allowed people to do crappy things to you in a relationship and somehow that meant something about you and you're carrying that forward into the future as a part of your energetic field, as a part of your sort of heart resonance, can we now just destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so I have some questions here. How do we forgive ourselves for betraying ourselves by engaging with people who are not good for us? And how can we see the gifts even in really unpleasant experiences? For example, when a person encounters a psychopath who discards anyone and everyone like Kleenex and even enjoys harming one another. Okay, so I know Reva and I know what she's talking about. And so what I would recommend is that you have a look at that and see you from the eyes of another person. And so what I see is a beautiful person, a helpful person, a kind person, an attractive person, somebody who's very thoughtful, somebody who's very articulate, somebody who is bright and funny and shiny, somebody who basically would make a wonderful friend. And so if I was a psycho, would I want to hang out with other psychos, or I want to hang out with somebody like that? Probably I would just love to hang out with somebody like Reva. And so they already know what they're going to get when they hang out with you. And so anything and everything that you've brought into your energetic realm about that, can we now just destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so I've got some other questions here. So some people are getting ready for a soulmate relationship by like reading everything and by saying, okay, well, once I know this, I'll be ready for a soulmate relationship. And once I know that, I'll be ready for a soulmate relationship. And so anything and everything that brings up for you, if that's true for you. One of the ladies on the call had this, and I said, okay, so anything that doesn't allow you to know now what you figure you're going to know in the future in order to be able to attract your soulmate relationship, can we now just destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. Because truth as an infinite being, we're already ready for everything. Like really, you're absolutely ready for everything. And so if you're thinking, okay, well, there's a few things that I need to know in order to to have a soulmate relationship, I do suggest that you connect with someone, maybe me, who has a course talking about changing your resonance, stopping judging yourself, how to make a proper commitment in a relationship, how to not abandon yourself when you're getting together with somebody, like a bunch of different things that I have in my course. And there's a bunch of different courses out there. So check into the resonance of that and see whether or not I'm a coach for you. I would absolutely love to work with you. There's other coaches out there that you can find. I do notice that there are some courses that work. I do notice that there are some courses that are absolutely, in my opinion, astronomically expensive. I've heard of one that is $8,000 for a year. And so if you would love to pay me $8,000, I would look after you really well for the next year. But my conscious coupling course is not $8,000. So we'll talk about that pretty, towards the end of the webinar. So some more questions here. One of my clients was asking about a need to be witnessed or acknowledged in a relationship. And so that actually feels nice. I enjoy being witnessed or acknowledged in a relationship. And so if my partner's unwilling to give me that, then it would be best for me to have a look at that and say, okay, well, where am I unwilling to have my need to be witnessed or acknowledged met? And so how many other parts of my lifetime have I met people who don't give me that kind of acknowledgement that I crave? And so I have a picture of like a starving baby. And so if a baby was screaming and needed to be fed, then you would feed a baby. And so the need to be acknowledged or witnessed in a relationship, even like, oh my goodness, I super love what you did today. Thank you so much, sweetie. And, you know, a nice little pat on the head. And so anything and everything that doesn't allow you to have a little pat on the head, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And actually, I happen to know that this person is in a relationship, but she was looking for some information on how to change the resonance that she has in her current relationship. And so part of being a total head tripper is, for me, looking at all of the things that interest me. And so one of the things that interested me sometime past was Kabbalah, which is part of Judaism. And they have a prayer that they say that has the power to turn your soulmate, the person that you're presently living with, back into your soulmate. And so if you just tap into that for a second, and so you ask yourself a question like, truth, what would my soulmate provide to me that I'm not currently getting from the person that I'm with? Or what would I ask for? Or what in the past have I not received from a relationship that I'm now ready to receive? And so the awareness would come up, like maybe a need to be witnessed or acknowledged, or maybe pats on the head, compliments. And so just be fine with that. Don't necessarily have any judgment about that. And just say, okay, cool. Well, anything that doesn't allow that to show up for me, I now destroy and uncreate it. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And then the other side is anything that doesn't allow me to advocate for the things that I require in a relationship without judgment and without expectation, I now destroy and uncreate it. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so that's part of that deal and deliver energy. We're probably going to have a whole entire, well, in fact, I know we're going to have a whole entire segment of my conscious coupling on deal and deliver. And so how to get what you desire in a relationship and how to get out of judgment for asking for it. One of the things that we talked about this morning on the call was one of the callers felt like she was asking for too much. And so what happens if you feel like you're asking for too much? Right? You don't get anything because you don't feel like you deserve it. And so one of the things that you can do this week is have a look at that. And, you know, everywhere you're kind of like dialing yourself back a notch or 20 notches or 50 notches because you don't feel like you deserve what it is that you're asking for. Why don't you just ask for a little bit more than you think you deserve? How fun would that be? So anything that doesn't allow you to ask for more than you think you deserve and get it and receive it, let's just destroy and uncreate that. And so I see Kiara is looking for more information about the program. And so the program runs 5 months. It started just this morning. And so if you jump on tonight, you'll get the recording of the call for this morning. You'll also get the night loops, or they call them the night loops, but basically it's any of the questions people ask end up with a clearing for that question. And so there's a recording of that. And so, you know, while you're in the car, or, you know, while you're making your bed, or while you're folding your laundry, or whatever the heck you're doing, where you can just have sort of a free time, instead of having to listen to the whole call, which of course I recommend because there's so much juicy stuff on the calls. Even if you don't necessarily think it resonates for you, there'll be a different part of you that's picking up on it. And if it's from a past life or a concurrent lifetime, or, you know, some other dimension where this is true for you, and then you can just clear that off at the same time that the other people are having the clearings. And so one of the segments that we ran this morning was getting ready for love. And so there's a bunch of different things that we talked about on this webinar that came from that. The next segment that we're going to be running is basically judgments that you have about your physicality and your sexuality. And so things that we can bring forward for you where you may have a judgment about your physicality or about how you show up energetically and sexually. And so I have two people that are going to be on the call, one of which is a tantress, and the other is a feng shui master. And so we're going to be asking those people to give us some guidance about what we can do to fully step into an attraction factor with our bodies. And, you know, because if your body's turned on, you can actually achieve more money and more opportunities in your life if you're broadcasting at full signal. So when you're on channel 12 goes all the way to Australasia when you're fully turned on. And then there's also some things that you can do in your home. These are things that I actually did in my home that made a difference for feeling more peaceful, for feeling that my home is an energetic contribution to me. Another one of the things that we're going to talk about on the calls is basically the deal and deliver energy, and also how to communicate with people to get your needs met and to not be afraid of using like real language. And so some people are like, okay, well, that's never ever been modeled for me. How do I do that? And so this call will be a lot about how to get your needs met in a relationship. And so people can ask questions about, okay, well, what if somebody asks me to sign a cohabitation agreement? What if somebody asks me to sign a prenuptial agreement? And then another one of the calls, well, you know, I'm not 100% sure, you know, how it's going to roll out, because the energy of the calls dictates more of what the energy of the next call will be. And so I'm hoping to get some more guests on. One of the things that I would love to cover that I'm approaching an expert about is internet dating, and sort of different techniques that you need to know about internet dating and how you can handle that from an energetic standpoint, and what questions that you can ask while you're internet dating, and sort of how much fun can you have internet dating. Like, if you have a point of view that the only people that you're going to meet are psychos, and that you're going to have to solve the mystery of the psycho and play, you know, which one of you is the good guy, then we need to destroy and uncreate that together. So everything that brings up for you, we're going to work together to do that. No, I can see somebody trying to poke in again. Are you heading out?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, bye, sweetie. Mwah. Love you. So that's my sweetie. That's Tom. He's heading out to baseball. And I see some questions. I'm just going to finish here. One of the things that I didn't ask for that showed up for me is that Tom goes out and plays baseball. And it's like the only thing that I actually enjoy watching. I know how to play. And so that was super awesome. That was such a gift for me. And let's have a look here. Okay. Yeah, so I have another question that was presented to me to talk about on the webinar tonight. A woman had her husband run away with a younger woman. So that's not fun. So I imagine that, you know, she said she felt betrayed and it made her feel ugly. And, you know, I mean, it's nothing to laugh at. The reason why I'm laughing is it's just so absurd. You know, I know this person, she's an absolutely lovely person. And so for this to happen, there should have been some awareness of the fact that her partner may be leaving, her partner may be stepping out. And so you can ask yourself, truth, did I know this was happening? And so if the answer was yes, cool. You don't need to judge yourself about it. You don't need to judge the response. And I just see some questions. Let me just tap in again. And so everywhere you've allowed this to be true for you, that you're not the person that this person wanted, that this person went away and found something else. And everywhere that you're projecting that into the future, can we now just destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pop, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so I see a question from Kiara. Could you maybe just give some bullets of the program and week by week, month by month, what we would do and the investment? And so I did talk about that. So it's a 5-month program. And the investment is normally $997. I'm running the program for $597. And if you sign up within the next 48 hours, I'm holding the price at $297. And so if that resonates with you, I would absolutely love to see you in the program. I would love to have lots of people to play with, lots of people to facilitate in this program. And so by missing the first class, you're not actually missing anything. I do promise you that if you have anything specific to the energetics of the first class, that we'll have some facilitation on that. And so that's super important to me, to make sure that you feel like you're a part of the program. The classes are an hour and a half, and they're held by teleseminar. And because I know that some people can phone in from work, and people aren't always necessarily available to be on their computer. And so I find that the teleseminars work. And so it includes the 5-month program, of which I talked about. We're going to have different guest people in. I'm going to do facilitation on a whole bunch of different topics. And how did I come up with this program? I didn't actually cover that with you. So when I came to sort of the realization after I had my bars run that I didn't be, you know, I wasn't done having a soulmate. And so for so very long, I was like, okay, cool. I'm okay with having, you know, friends with benefits situation. I'm okay with having, you know, sort of guy friends that we go out and do things with. And so after having my bars run, I really came to the realization that I was tired of being alone, and that I would love to have someone in my life that was a contribution to me. And I get people all the time saying, okay, well, Jennifer, you're so lucky to have found Tom. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's an interesting point of view, that I'm lucky to have found Tom. I did the work that allowed Tom to show up in my life. And actually, Tom was doing sort of different equivalent things that allowed me to show up in his life. And when I was doing the things that I'm going to be presenting in the program, I was doing all sorts of things. And so I'll be presenting the things that were most effective for me. And I have a hilarious story to tell you about that. So I did up a vision video, of which I'm going to give you the information that you need in order to be able to complete a vision video for yourself. And if you need help with that, I'll give you the ability to go ahead with that as well. That's a part of my VIP program. I also was meditating twice daily. I did a bunch of things that I'm going to show in the program. Like I did some feng shui stuff in my house. I got some information about how to clear myself energetically and sexually. because I had experienced some abuse in the past, and that was tied up in my body. So basically what I'm doing is boiling down all the experiences that I had when I attracted Tom, plus all of the Access Consciousness stuff that I've learned in the interim. And what this will do is allow a soulmate to show up for you who's absolutely authentic to you. Like my Tom, you know, I see absolutely no reason why you couldn't meet somebody who, you know, fulfills everything that you could possibly want in a relationship, everything that you think that you're afraid to ask for in a relationship, everywhere you think you're asking for too much in a relationship. And just have it happen for you. When I started this program, like, I just got a download about what I needed to do, and some of the things that I did weren't effective, and some of the things that I did do were effective. And so the things I'm going to show you are only the things that were very effective for me. I had a funny thing happen. And so while I was doing, watching my vision video, I was meditating, which is basically listening to the clearing loops. And I was doing this meditation of yes that I'm going to be talking about on our calls. I ended up, I was like rear-ended, like by about, I think it was 4 different people, and they were all men, all obviously single men. So something was working. And so it took me, I started the program, you know, just the different things that I was getting the downloads on. I made my vision video for myself in February. I started watching my video. I started doing the meditations, guided meditations. And Tom showed up in May. And so we did a little bit of chatting, and we ended up going on our first date in June. And, you know, we told each other that we loved each other in August. And so, you know, if you don't think that you have 8 months to invest in a soulmate coming into your life in a way that is truly authentic for you, then please let me be the invitation for that. I absolutely know that this program works because I've used it. And then before I was, you know, before coming up with a conscious coupling program, I've been counseling and also facilitating people to get into relationships that work for them. And so I've used this material with them, and they've been able to move themselves into a beautiful, energetic relationship. And, you know, and also use some of the tools to stay in a beautiful, energetic relationship, which we'll be covering on that as well. You know, because we've all been in a situation where, you know, we meet somebody and we think they're Mr. Right, and we don't ask enough questions. So everywhere we're not asking enough questions, and everywhere we're unwilling to receive a soulmate partner, and we now just destroy and uncreate that. So do we have any more questions here? Oh, how much fear busting should someone do on relationships before even getting involved in one? Too much fear will sabotage even the best thing. So that's interesting that that question came up. And so what I would recommend, what I experienced was, I was alone for 7 years because I thought I was going to recreate the relationship that I left. I was afraid. And I can tell you absolutely that I did not need to be alone for 7 years. When you say that you have fear inside your body, the same chemicals, scientifically, you can look this up. I'm not making it up. So excitement and fear have the same chemicals. And so if you're feeling excited about having a soulmate relationship and about attracting a soulmate relationship, and you feel scared about, you know, attracting a soulmate relationship, or perhaps that you might not attract the relationship that you want, just tap into that and say, okay, truth, is this fear or excitement? And so your body should be able to tell you. And so if you don't get that information, put your hand right here and say, truth body, is this fear or is this excitement? And so if your body says to you it's exciting, I would suggest that you absolutely go for it. And so you can sign up for my program tonight. If you sign up within the next 48 hours, it's $297. If you don't, then it will pop up to $597. And as you can see, similar programs are selling on the web for $8,000. So if you feel the need to pay me $8,000, I absolutely will give you a custom-made program for $8,000, but you're still going to get a custom-made program for the $297 tonight. So let's see if we have any more questions. Yeah. Let me just have a look. I think I have a couple more things I just want to cover with you before the turn of the hour. Just one sec. I just have one more thing. Yeah. So there was one more thing about not having role models. One of the people who filled out the survey for me, thank you so much. And if you're tuning in, here's your question. And so she came from a family where her parents were just absolutely not role models for a successful relationship. And so by looking at those people, she is just absolutely afraid that she's going to recreate her relationship based on the relationships of the past, including those ones that her parents had. And so if you're listening, I know you're going to catch the replay. That's why you sent in the question. And so everything that brings up for you, everywhere your parents weren't role models for a successful relationship, can we just flip that around and say, okay, cool. What I did learn from my parents was what I don't want in a relationship. My parents were excellent role models for what not to include in a successful relationship. And so anywhere that you're unable to be, know, perceive, and receive what it is that's truth for you in a relationship, can we now just destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. Because as children, we receive information from everywhere. We use that to create a reality. And as adults, we're continuing to use this information to create a reality. And so if you're willing to choose for you, if you're willing to choose to have a successful soulmate relationship, and you're willing to ask the questions and receive the awareness that it is something that is energetically in line with what you're wanting to create right now, then you can take these clearings off of this call and you can move ahead. And if you want somebody to hold your hand, if you want someone to be your champion, if you want somebody to be there for you and also to show you the things that will help you not only attract a soulmate relationship, but also maybe have a selection of people that you're interacting with on, say, a dating website. So questions that you can ask yourself, or basically ask the universe, okay, cool. Will this person be a contribution to me? Will this person be fun? Will I learn something from this person? You know, we're going to talk about all of those things on the call. So over the next 5 months, the first call was just this Monday, so you would get a recording of that. The next 4 calls, there'll be 1 call per month. And then there's also, I call it before play. So there'll be homework that you'll be having some exercises that I'm recommending that you do. There's a website, Facebook page, a closed secret Facebook page where you guys can share the things that, that you're doing. You can also share your creation, your soulmate creation before play, and so you'll know what that is once you listen to the first call. So basically we're asking the universe for our custom soulmate, and it's not from judgment, not like my custom soulmate has to look like a Ken doll. He has to have blue eyes and blonde hair, or, you know, I would prefer my custom soulmate to look like Clive Owen. I love that sort of bearded thing. So we're not doing it from judgment. We're just doing it from love. And so one other thing that I would love to invite you to do is to change your language. So you don't want, you are not in lack. You are an infinite being. So you have the ability to be, know, perceive, and receive everything infinitely. And so anything and everything that doesn't allow you to know what it is that you need to do in order to, like need, okay, forgive me, that you would love to do, that you would desire to do to attract a loving soulmate relationship into your life, anything that doesn't allow you to be, know, perceive, and receive that, can we now just destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so if you can tap into your knowingness about what it is that you love about being in a soulmate relationship, and also what you love about being you, and you step away from using the language want. So I would love it for you to only say love, as in, you know, I love to wrap my arms around somebody that's like this, or, you know, I love to watch movies with my soulmate partner, or whatever it is you love. I mean, you might be physical. You're like, I love to climb mountains, and I love to do that with a hunky man. So changing your resonance also means changing your language. And so I would super love for you to think about changing your language. And so everywhere you're unwilling or unable to step out of want and into desire, can we just destroy and create that? Yeah. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so in closing, I would love to share one of my favorite quotes, and I'm paraphrasing here. It's from Margaret Mead, and she says, "Never doubt that a small group of people dedicated to a cause can create miracles. In fact, it is the only thing that ever has." And so what that says to me is that instead of being alone on your soulmate journey, how cool would it be to be with a group of people who were sharing the same tools, who had the same resonance, who were speaking the same language, who were offering each other feedback on what it was that they had tried. And, you know, like a little horse, I see a picture of a little baby horse in my head. And so, you know, when the baby horses are born, I grew up on a horse farm, so I know, you know, you're going to hear all of the horse farm stories. But anyways, when the baby horses are first born, they can't walk. And so, you know, they toddle around, and, you know, they try to get up a few times, and then they try to get up a few times. And then if you just watch them, you don't need to do much, just make sure that they have everything that they need. And so that's my job, to make sure that you have everything that you need. And pretty soon they're up, they've tried their legs, and then pretty soon they're just galloping around the field. And so that's one of the things that I absolutely love about working with people, about my facilitation practice, is having people use the tools of Access Consciousness. And especially when they're like, oh my God, Jennifer, I totally thought that that was just so stupid, but I tried it and it worked. And so then a month later, they're, because they've tried a tool and it worked for them, then they're willing to try it and use it out in the universe. And then, you know, they take another tool and then they try it out, and then all of a sudden they're just like one of those little horses galloping around the field. And so anything that doesn't allow you to be, know, perceive, and receive, that you're just a baby horse waiting to gallop around the field and to meet your soulmate and to gallop around the field with them. I would super love that. And that's the vision that I'm holding in my heart for you, is that, yeah, you know, because I didn't actually think that Tom existed. I was willing to do all of the things necessary, everything that the experts were teaching me, and just run on blind faith. And so this course, you will never have to run on blind faith. You're not running blind. And, you know, if something's not working for you, I can just jump in and, you know, do just a little tiny twist, you know, with your permission, obviously. And, you know, we can get you to where you're asking to go. And it will be easier. It will be more fun. You're going to have more laughs. than you ever thought possible. So in closing, anything and everything that doesn't allow your soulmate journey to be effortless, easy, kind, contributory, and magical, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so that's it. We're at 5:30. Thank you so much for playing. And if you haven't popped over to the site, the offer poll is right there. And so if you could check out conscious coupling, if you have any questions about conscious coupling, go ahead and send me a quick email about that. My email is accessholistic@gmail.com, and you can see my website, which is accessholistic.com. And so you can pop over to my website as well. This isn't a special that I have on my website. This is a one-time only offer on this webinar that I'll be offering the conscious coupling for the $297, which is half off of my introductory price. So if you would like to join us on conscious coupling, I would absolutely love it. And I look forward to seeing you on the second call and firing you off the information on the first call. Blessings and anything and everything that doesn't allow you to have the most amazing life possible. Let's just destroy and uncreate it. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And if you missed the beginning, my name is Jennifer Windsor, and I'm a certified Access Consciousness Facilitator. And I can't wait to meet you. Bye-bye.